Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Welcome back, people. It's your friendly neighborhood Dragonslayer here, bringing you the latest on TV, movies, and sometimes gaming. Before we begin today's topic, I just want to say that if you enjoy this video, then you already know what to do with the like, share, subscribe, and notification buttons. It's only a few seconds of clicking for you, but for me, it means I was able to make someone's day 10 times better. And also, leave a comment down below letting me know what your takes on the episode were.
Do it.
Also, please watch the entire video to completion, as it does help me fight this unfair YouTube algorithm that seems to hate me every single time.
You're goddamn right.
Also, please know that I have a Patreon right now, so if you do want to support me and this channel, just please check out the link in the description below, and also the rest of my socials are listed in the video description as well. Now, I want to make it clear that this episode is not really much of an actual TV show episode, but more of a really long version of what should have been a 15-minute segment in the final episode. Now, I will have to suffer through this endangerment to my neurons in its entirety, but you guys will be spared of this torture by getting the short version. With that out of the way, let's start this mess.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? I ain't having that shit!
So we begin with Galadriel waking up in Cheeto Dust Hell, where a California forest fire is still going on, and she notices the destruction that this small town just experienced until she realizes that Theo and some of the villagers are somehow still alive from the pyroclastic surge.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Wait, so you're telling me that this massive volcanic surge didn't realistically kill and bury the bodies of everyone in the village? As a matter of fact, I have so many questions about how these people survived that I gotta pull out the new stupid questions board because there's way too many. What the hell, showrunners? You're supposed to have your audience ask legit questions about your episode at the end of it, not during the first fucking minute. Jesus Christ, man, this is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Galadriel walks away from the impact zone with Theo, and also Isildur. We see him help Tarmiriel pull out the Rock Jr. from some rubble, only to find out the white, blonde, goofy character is dead.
Oh no! Anyway.
And we then see Isildur helping Tarmiriel out again with getting trapped townsfolk out of a house. But then the burning wooden boards on the roof fall, which push her back and trap him until the entire building collapses. Look, I'm not even including this in the lore breaks, but I'm sure we'll see him again in the future.
5 minutes later.
Regardless, Tarmiriel and the Rock Jr. make it out of that mess alive, and then we randomly transition over to the Harfoots, which I no longer give a shit about, so let me summarize their story right off the bat. They walk to a patch of charred terrain and they ask the hobo wizard to restore the tree with his magic power. However, what ends up happening is that a huge tree branch breaks off while he's doing his power chant and almost kills Nori and her dumb younger sibling in the process, which would have been great if that did happen, but it never did.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
However, what actually does end up happening is that the Harfoots start to blame the hobo for everything that just happened, even though Lenny Henry was the one that asked him to do it in the first place.
You are stupid.
And so what they do is they give him a copy of the constellation map while telling him to fuck off in the direction of the Greenwood, or Mirkwood as it would be later known in the Third Age.
God damn.
Jeez, I really guess Hobbit hospitality is truly an illusion. I guess Tolkien was talking a bunch of shit out of his ass when he said hobbits are very great with their hospitality. Fuck you, showrunners. Regardless, we then see the Eminem groupie rejects touching the tree the hobo wizard touched until Nori, like the idiot she is, tells the random strangers that they're going the wrong way and points to the right direction where our hobo wizard went.
You fucking donkey!
However, it seems the groupie rejects agree with every single Tolkien fan out there and burns down the entire Hobbit camp in one fell swoop.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! You're doing it good, buddy! Great job!
Oh, and because this is a show made by idiots, the idiot Nori doesn't get punished for her actions. Instead, we get this very, very sappy speech from her dad.
We're Harfoots. We don't slay dragons. Not much for digging jewels, but there's one thing we can do, I warn. Better than any creature in all Middle-earth. We stay true to each other, no matter how the path winds, or how steep it gets. We face it with our hearts, even bigger than our feet. And we just keep walking.
What the fuck is this? I don't know.
It's so stupid, in fact, that I lost 30% of my neurons just listening to that shit.
Get the fuck out of here!
Still, it seems that this speech somehow inspires Nori to go after the hobo wizard to warn him, but this time, Fat Sam, Lenny Henry, and her stepmom join her on this mission. And with this, the Harfoots became a footnote in this episode. So let's get back to the main plot line for a bit. We then see Galadriel and Theo looking over the destruction, and he asks her why did the orcs do this. She says it's because it allows orcs to have a homeland finally, and Theo is about to go back to the village until Galadriel stops him and says, "Hey fool, chill, it's over." At that same time, we see the Númenóreans walking back to their camp in defeat, and Elendil doesn't seem to notice that Isildur is missing until he sees his riderless horse.
You're a fucking dumbass.
Dad of the year, guys.
Oh, you can smell the shit from 5 miles away.
The Rock Jr. then shows up with Tarmiriel, and we find out as they're walking back that some burning ash either permanently or temporarily blinded her, but we're really never told which one it is by the showrunners.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Also, Galadriel has a philosophical conversation with Theo that boils down to, "Violence is very bad, child, and you shouldn't think of negative things lest they darken your heart." "Am I a soldier then, Galadriel's son?" "Yeah, you are now. Here's my sword to remember me by when you become a big, strong Nazgul."
What the fuck?
Okay, the Nazgul bit wasn't in there, but it would be funny if he did turn out to be one and starts killing people with that sword she gave him. That way Galadriel is now responsible for a third major fuck-up in the lore.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Also, we find out through Galadriel telling Theo that she believes her husband Celeborn is most likely dead because she never saw him again after he went off to war?
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Wait, so this crazy elf lady never once thought to go look for her missing husband for 1,000 years? And on top of that, the showrunners are trying to make her look like she has the hots for Halbro? I can't believe I'm saying this, guys, but Celeborn, he really needs to leave this woman, cause
She belongs to the streets.
Moving on, they almost get spotted by some orcs patrolling at night, but they make it out of there just fine because the ash is preventing the orcs from sniffing them out, and we then see everyone returning to the camp, and Elendil hears from the Rock Jr. what happened to Isildur, and he makes the strange decision to let his horse go.
You what?
You know that whole talk that he had with his son about horses of the Westerness having a deep connection with their riders? Yeah, he never once thought that maybe the horse ran back in the direction of the village because maybe his son is still alive?
You're not very bright, are you?
No, I'm not. I would like to be, but I'm not.
Guys, I'm only halfway summarizing this entire episode, and the lack of common sense this show is giving off is enough to make orcs look like budding intellectuals.
You suck!
After a while, Galadriel and Theo make it back to camp where they find out that not only is Bronwyn completely fine and squeaky clean, but also that Arendir is there as well.
I have several questions.
Yeah, let's just forget the fact that she was bleeding like a stuck pig literally a day ago in the last episode. But I honestly don't care about things making sense in the show anymore, since I've already seen way too much ridiculous shit in the last one.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
Moving on, Galadriel then joins the Female Leader Summit, where she kneels before Tarmiriel, and she says the line of, "No one kneels in Numenor," and Galadriel then, for the second time in this show, admits this whole disaster is actually her fault.
I beg your pardon?
And starts to cry in shame until Tarmiriel grabs her face and says, "Bitch, stop crying, cause I'm gonna come back and make this whole land my bitch."
Not a great plan.
We then see all three of them agree that they'll come back for another attack, and then Tarmiriel tells Elendil that they're going to sail back to Numenor. However, he doesn't respond right away, and she calls for him again, when the camera pans over to Elendil trying to contain his tears while making a very, very constipated face at the same time. Fuck you, showrunners, like for demeaning and insulting the various ways men grieve over the loss of a loved one. We are vastly different from women, and we will never grieve like them. So please get that fact across your tiny, insignificant, protoplasmic brains.
I'm President Rathcock, and I approve this message.
In any case, Tarmiriel and the Númenóreans sail back to Numenor, Bronwyn and the villagers travel to Belargir to resettle, which is really far away, like goddamn that's far away. And Galadriel finds out Halbro is alive but injured, so she decides the best course of action is to put him on horseback and do a no-rest, almost 1,000-mile journey to Eregion, not only to warn the elves about what has happened, but also to get Halbrand some better medical attention. Also, Adar sits back on a rock when he is asked what they will call the Southlands now, to which we see the epic reveal of the name Mordor, instead of just having Adar say it.
I don't give a shit.
I guess they didn't want to pay him the extra $20 just to say one line. Regardless, this is where we end the entire shit. I forgot to mention the story of Elrond and Durin, so let me do that as well.
One eternity later.
Elrond presents himself to Durin's father and proposes in exchange for access to their mithril mines that the elves will furnish the entire city with food and high-quality wood for the next 5 centuries.
It is acceptable.
Durin's father then asks Elrond why they should trust an elf, and Elrond says that they should not, but that they should trust him because he's half-elven and sees things that normal elves can't.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He then implores Durin to give him the chance to save his people, and he leaves the room.
Disappointed!
Durin then has a discussion with his father that boils down to, "I will not give those pointy ears away to defy the natural order of things that Eru has created. They are better off leaving Middle-earth."
What a load of shit.
Durin then gets mad at his father for giving such an answer, and he tells him that if he defies the Valar's will, the entire kingdom will eventually fall.
Whoa, brother, whoa, now. You got too much dip on your chip.
He then complains about his father's decision with his wife until he throws a small slab of mithril at the decaying leaf, which ends up bringing it back to life.
You serious?
Brimming with excitement, he then calls for Elrond, and they start digging at the mithril node until they find the Mother Lode. But they are then stopped by the king, who kicks out Elrond from the mountain and scolds his son for doing such foolishness.
Gotcha, bitch!
An argument then ensues between the two that's summarized as, "How do you want me to grow into this great man that you want me to be if every time I make a decision for myself, you shut it down instantly? And you're the reason why our people can't grow, because you profane the very crown you wear by being stuck to the past."
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Angered and saddened by what the showrunners think is a truth bomb, the king not only takes off Durin's royal collar and throws it to the ground, but also tells him when he's about to pick it up to leave it there because it's not his anymore.
A few moments later.
Being very angry, Durin complains to his wife yet again that it's his fault for angering his father. But like any ambitious medieval housewife, she tells him that it's actually his father's fault because he's grown too old and suspicious to realize that one day the entire kingdom will become his and no one else's. She then says that the mithril belongs to them and that one day they will dig it up.
I don't like where this is going. Stop! Stop!
They then smooch and we see the leaf fall into the deep tunnels of mithril nodes until it lands at the bottom where it gets burned up by the flames of a slightly annoyed Balrog because of course we need to add a fucking Balrog near the end of the episode because of course this episode, is aimed at just cashing in on the nostalgia of the original movie normie fans, which they even know this show is so fucking shit they have to resort to the lowest common denominator, which is showing the Balrog wake up for a split second before it's an appointed time in the year 1980 of the Third Age. And you know what? I'm not even including this shit in the lore breaks section because it's so fucking stupid and obvious.
Damn!
But other than that, that's the end of the missing story of the episode, so let's get into the lore breaks.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Number 1. Numenor didn't attack Mordor until Ar-Pharazôn became king. This whole concept of Numenor coming back to resettle the score is made up by the show.
No shit.
The only reason Numenor attacked Mordor directly was because Sauron himself announced that he was king of the world to everyone, which angered the proud Ar-Pharazôn and caused him to attack Mordor and force Sauron to submit to him. Number 2. Durin III's reason for rejecting the elves' proposal is complete BS. The reason Khazad-dûm would eventually fall is because due to the greed of subsequent kings, the dwarves dug so deep underground that they woke up a Balrog that led to the fall of their kingdom. It's supposed to be a cautionary tale about the consequences of unbounded greed. Number 3. Celeborn never left Galadriel's side after they got married. Throughout the time Celeborn marries Galadriel in the early First Age until they both sailed back to Valinor and near the very beginnings of the Fourth Age, they were always together in the lore. Also, their daughter and future wife of Elrond, Celebrian, was born in the early Second Age. By the time the Rings of Power are forged, she is at least 1,000 years old. This whole, "I don't know whether my husband is dead or alive" dilemma was all made up by the show because these people think that a woman isn't considered feminine if they have to depend on a man to protect them.
Hey boy, don't you come walking by this house. You're ignorant.
Newsflash, idiots. Not only was Galadriel a powerful and wise woman, but also her husband was a great warrior and leader. A female character doesn't need to act like a man to be considered powerful or wise.
Stop it. Get some help.
Look guys, I really don't have many lore breaks since not much happens in this episode, so I'm going to give this episode a 2 out of 10 score. I honestly think that it was a very boring and pointless episode that, again, I should reiterate, should have been a 15-minute segment of the last episode instead of a standalone 1-hour episode of boredom.
You're a fucking disappointment.
Look, if you want to lose 30% of your neurons like I did, then knock yourselves out. But I strongly caution you from watching this episode if you do value them. Instead, just go watch the original Peter Jackson trilogy. In fact, go watch the Hobbit trilogy. As much as we all didn't like how it turned out, at least it's 10 times better than this fucking garbage.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, friends, I wish you all a wonderful day and Namarie.